What's going on, people? It's me again. Don't try to be right, strive to be righteous. Okay? Right, so initially I was going to name this video. One minute, let me turn the sound down. Right, so initially I was going to name this video Transitioning. Then I thought, oh dear, you don't want to do that. With the amount of silly, the amount of videos that you put out there, yeah, already. You're almost. In fact, I need to say this. This is funny. This is I didn't want to start the video like this before we go to transitioning, but let me give you a quick story. There was an R&B singer called Tank, right? And the other day he made a comment. He was sitting down with a few women. Because why is it important to say this? Why is it important to say this? It's such a tough subject, but I'm going to start my video of this anyway. Right, okay, so there's this black guy called Tank, great R&B singer, right? He's a little bit like myself. He's not really too concerned what people think, because he knows where he's going and he knows what he's about. So when he says things sometimes and they sound a bit suspect, you think, sounds a bit suspect when you're saying that. Who would say something like that, you know? But let's face it, when we even say that, well, who would say something like that? We're then trying to compare it to stereotypes, aren't we? We're saying that this is how your average man behaves, and this is how he should respond to certain things, and this is how I would deal with certain things. So we're putting really everyone into a box. But he was on some show. I don't know how long the show was for. All I know is that they were going for a lot of questioning, and this woman's asking him questions, and then she goes, you know, something about lying, you know, so how do you feel about lies? If a guy lied twice and, you know, then he's a liar for, you know, a leopard don't change its spots and all of that. And he said, well, to be honest with you, if a guy lies twice, that don't really make him a liar, to be honest with you. You could say he's lied, but you can't really say based upon the 2 times that he's a liar. Then for some reason the woman answers him a question, and this is something. In fact, this is what's going to be the video. Forget about transitioning. We're going to go into something else since I started with this. The woman then asks him a question that I don't think now, and this is why I want to change the direction of this video. I don't think she would ask that question to other people, but yet she asked it to him. Okay, she says to him, "All right then. So you mean to tell me that if a man gives oral sex to another man twice, that he's not gay?" And Tank, being as ignorant as he is, not looking at the trap that's been set for him. Okay, I said to guys already that, you know, women, you know, especially the innocent ones that when they talk, you wouldn't believe it, because their outer appearance is just a shining light, a beacon. So you just think they couldn't possibly be trying to set me up here. And I don't know. I mean, again, I haven't seen the interview, so maybe she is a nice woman and everything else. But Tank fell right into it and said, well, yeah, if I said, well, he didn't even say that. He didn't say that. But basically, in his mind, he said, well, since I'm stuck with the whole lying thing twice doesn't make you a liar, I need to stick by this. So he says, yes, if a man gives another man oral sex, that doesn't mean he's gay. Okay? And career suicide. Okay? Half of his sales now, I mean, I don't want to wish bad on anyone, but it definitely has affected him, because now people are jumping on the bandwagon and saying, right, this dude's gay and everything else. The thing that really hurts me though and bugs me a bit is when I was talking in my previous video about leaders. I was saying to you that basically it's sad that us sometimes, especially in the black community, that there is no greater good, and what it is that some people are trying to be the best good. You know, they're competing at being good. Good is good. If I'm out there helping elderly people cross the road and doing something for my local community, but you've done it 10 times more than me, doesn't mean that you're 10 times better than me. Don't try to turn good into evil, because they're not. A lot of black community leaders now have gone after him, and even the way they've written the title of the video discussing what he said, they've written it in a very slanderous way. Why is Tank gay? Why nowhere along the lines is Tank claiming to be gay. He never claimed to be those sort of things. But since I'm going to change the direction of the whole transitioning thing, because originally this video was going to be called porn transitioning, but since I'm going to change the direction, what we're going to do instead is we're going to ask ourselves, why did the woman feel that she could even ask Tank a question like that? Because if that was any other rapper, I don't think she'd be brave enough to say that, but she was brave enough to say it to Tank. I think that, there's this saying in the porn industry, or even outside of it, some guys will say, oh, she has a porn face. She has a porn face. And I never believed what a porn face is. But a porn face apparently is a girl that's basically a lot more easier catch, and a lot more likely to go further than your average woman that has a normal looking face. Most women with porn faces appear to be a lot more promiscuous than those that don't have them, and they're more likely to indulge in more extreme sorry about that, guys. And they're more likely to indulge in more extremer acts of blah blah blah. Okay, and I never really believed it. Maybe there's a possibility, and me myself being thrown into that pot, because this is about being real here, guys, not being fake. Maybe I have that, maybe me and Tank have maybe some sort of non-threatening face, soft face, or some people may even say, oh, gay face or whatever face. Basically it's a non-threatening face. Maybe we have that, and maybe sometimes that's why women want to take a bit of liberties with us sometimes, because I don't know why she asked him a question like that. Funny enough, there's an interview on the internet where they're interviewing Trey Songz, and this woman starts getting rude to Trey Songz as well. Says to him something about Chris Brown. Oh, how do you think about Chris Brown and this and that? And he was like, what? Why are you mentioning Chris Brown's name like that? And he stood up for Chris Brown. He was like, listen, don't mention Chris Brown's name, yeah? I have to respect him. But again, because he was smiling a bit and because he was non-threatening, she felt, right, I'm going to start taking liberties with this guy. So I can only assume, and this may even go back to my anniversary video, is that for black men in particular, unless we're walking around with some sort of screw face and some sort of negative demeanor, then people will tend to kind of take liberties with you. And it's regardless of how intimidating you are, because let's face it, Tank's not a small guy. I wouldn't even really class myself as a small guy, but I think that, although I was going off of looks, wasn't I? I was saying that, right. So yeah, that's the only thing I can assume, that I think some of these women, unless you actually approach them on a very negative vibe, a very defensive vibe, a very you're beneath me woman vibe, then I think some of them tend to take a bit of liberties. I'm trying to say, the saddest thing about Tank is that he's now destroyed his career. But anyway, that's rant over. Okay, rant over. Let's get into this porn transitioning video. Okay. Right. So imagine that you've gone on a Nofap for 3 months, 4 months, 5 months, 6 months. I can't speak for people that are in relationships, okay? I can't speak for those kind of people. I can only speak for people that are single, that porn has come into their life and literally ripped it to pieces from the inside out, okay? Affected them in a very great way. I can't speak for the dude that has a beautiful looking model type woman at home and still chooses to watch porn. Okay, although let's face it, I do know some people that they're with these model type looking wives, and they're trophies. These wives are trophies because these wives have got no personality. These wives don't know how to please their men in the bedroom. Okay, um, these wives, they're I think these wives really are just intellectual trophies. Okay, I'm not going to mention. There's a few people that springs instantly to mind, but I'm not going to go and name those people and shame them or whatever. What I will say to you is that Paris Hilton, at one stage, when she did the sex tape and people watched it, I remember her saying, you know, I'm not really that kind of porn star that people think make me out to be. And at the time when I was watching porn, this is going back about good 12 years ago, she wasn't. Let's face it, she wasn't. Some guys just have these women as trophies on their arm, and because of that, they're still watching porn. They still want that raw, rough. And then other guys where they've got a woman that's giving them everything, and it's just not enough. But I'm not talking about them kind of guys. I'm talking about single guys. Okay, there are certain women out there that, again, this reminds me, again, guys, we have to go off subject here. We have to go off subject here. This reminds me again of like the MGTOW. Men started this Nofap movement. They're talking about Nofap. All of a sudden, these women come along now and they want to take over the Nofap movement and all that kind of stuff. And I'm not against women. I'm not against women doing that. But they're not in the same situation as men at all. Okay. With the MGTOW video, what makes me laugh is that when women are doing these MGTOW videos, don't think for 1 minute that other women are watching these MGTOW videos. When women are doing a video, MGTOW, men going their own way, okay, don't think that other women are watching it. It's simpleton, it's simp men, it's weak men, it's pathetic, feeble men. I don't want to be, what's the word? I don't want to shame people here. I don't want to shame people. But it's those kind of guys that are watching the female MGTOW videos, because how is a woman going to do a MGTOW video and guys are supporting it? Guys are getting the views up. So she has more views, a woman has more views on MGTOW than a man does. How does that work? It's simpleton men that are allowing these things to happen. Let's get back to the whole Nofap, okay? I don't believe in women doing the Nofap, to be honest with you, or struggling with Nofap. I don't believe in them struggling, okay? I think some women are just doing it for attention, simple as. They're just doing it for attention. Because I can tell you now, some men out there, that having sex to them is almost like, you know, it's like saving up $1,000. It's like saving up $1,000, okay? And maybe each month, by putting a lot of money to the side, that they may have that opportunity to come up with £1,000, and that's what it's almost like. It's like saving £1,000, okay? Maybe once per month they may come up with that money, and they have to go out of their way. They have to sacrifice a hell of a lot to put that money aside, okay? These same women that are online talking about the Nofap or this or that, that grand is there. They wake up with £1,000 in their pocket and they go to sleep with it. It's not the same fight here. It's not the same fight. Some women are just jumping on the bandwagon in order to get attention from men. And men, just like us describing with the MGTOW, men are buying into it. Men are watching these videos and therefore supporting these women. Okay, the whole reason why a lot of us Nofap guys are watching porn in the first place is because women are messing us around. So then how are you going to be supporting a woman that the same woman that's messing you around, you're now supporting her? You're now supporting this woman. She is the reason why you're watching porn in the first place, and now you're supporting the same woman. Okay, it's just ludicrous. It's the simps that always let the side down. That's the best way of putting it to you. There was one woman, before I move into part 2 of porn transitioning, there was one woman now, however, that I think it's sad to see her go. Actually, there was one woman on here. I think she was bedridden by some sort of illness or ailment or whatever it was. She was bedridden, according to what I know. And She was fairly attractive. I'd probably give her, to be honest with you, I don't want to be harsh. I'll just say she was average attractive. I don't want to go into rating and all of that kind of stuff and what's the word, marketplace and all that nonsense. I'm just going to say she was fairly attractive. She wasn't the most attractive looking woman in the world. She was doing her journey on Nofap. I did watch her videos. She didn't have that many views, but she was down to earth, average looking woman. So you could tell, especially with the ailment that she had, where she couldn't get out of bed. She was in exactly the same situation that us guys were in. And basically what happened is, I think at one stage, for some whatever reason, she started to recover. She was able to be more active. She was walking around. She was able to go out a lot further. So she went from a kind of sedentary kind of lifestyle to a more active lifestyle. And she was going on the Nofap journey. And she was going the same way us men went through it. She went through it. I give it to her. Other women here that are extremely good looking women on here talking about Nofap. Guys, alright, I'm going to see you for part 2. I hope you enjoyed the video. Stay with me.